welcome to another episode of White Lithium Euro Trash. What a fine white on this afternoon. Today we're going to be making the Ultimate Driving Machine back into the Ultimate Driving Machine by doing a really simple job, or what I hope is a really simple job. And we're going to be doing new brake rotors, pads, but more importantly, swaybar bushings, both front and rear. And hoping to pull this off in about 2 hours. So let's do it. Here at the Milwaukee garage today, which has turned into quite a nice garage, by the way. Getting it dialed in. You saw the new toolbox. It's turned into a place I'd actually like to work, but I don't really have a complete set of tools. And you know, I've been loving this Milwaukee M12 stuff, but I don't have a new set of impact sockets here yet. But this is the new high torque 12 volt wrench, which should be enough to do most of what I would do with an 18 volt previously. And I'm hoping, oh man, I need to put a pair of gloves on. Put never sees all over everything, I forgot. Hoping to do everything that I used to do with an 18 volt with this 12 volt. And I'll tell you what, I gotta say, based on my initial experience, this is a rip-in 12 volt impact. I did not actually try and break these loose with it because I don't have a set of impact sockets here yet. Okay, but I can tell that it's got a lot of. You know, these rotors, I think, are technically okay, but they squeak, and I'm not sure how to keep them from squeaking other than replace them. They had sat for 20 years, obviously, in a garage, pretty corroded, and you know, I don't know that there's going to be a way to stop them from leaking. Otherwise, these bushings right here are the ones that I'm going to be replacing on the sway bar. They are gone. This bolt has been bent over at some point. So yeah, we're just going to put some new ones on there, new bolts, and see how it tightens up the suspension a little bit. Look over there. That one's completely in the incorrect position because that bolt's all bent over. I hope I don't have to cut that off because I don't have the right stuff to do that here. I've already got one of these off. Came off pretty nicely. You know, the problem is when this rust gets bedded into the surface, when you look at something like this right here, where it was probably sitting for 20 years, you're never gonna get that out. You know, I'm never gonna turn this rotor. Maybe theoretically you could, but Walleth and Nesh come through, and I'll just pop a new one on. Even this right here, this shield, pretty gosh darn good condition. This car is a car that I don't want to over restore it. It's in perfectly original condition. I'm just going to maintain the car. You know, the brake pads have tons of life left in them. But obviously I'll put new ones on anyways because those have been on there forever. There's something kind of interesting going on here. So this is the new rotor that I ordered from Germany, from Walleth and Nesh, which is the specialist in vintage BMW. Look at this rotor right here, how it has this cut along the outside right there. Okay, that cut is not present on the rotor that is coming off the car. Okay, what I believe they've done here is that is perhaps a balancing feature where they've removed some material in order to perfectly balance the rotor. Trying to think of, from a machining standpoint, I don't think that there is any rationale for putting that feature on there. Kind of interesting though. Another testament to the originality of the car. Look at this wire tie. It's like almost an aviation type of safety thinking in the attachment of the lower ball joint to the strut. A wire tie for safety. I bet this is an original component. And when I do inevitably replace the strut inside of here, which, you know, this assembly will stay here. I'll replace the internal component, I think is what you can get. I'm going to need to be sure to preserve this. Look at this. Look at what Wallet and Nash is doing for you. You not only, when you get a brake kit from them, you get this really high quality rotor, pads. The Germans were already putting, you know, brake wear sensors on 45 years ago. It includes that. It includes all of the hardware. This is almost a reason why owning a classic BMW is empowered by Wallet and Nash. Look at this 44-year-old brake pad technology that BMW has on here. You know, 4-piston. This looks like this is a better brake design than you would see on, you know, Japanese American cars that are even a decade old. I mean, this is really just so beautifully produced. I don't even know how to articulate it. Now that is a complete brake job. Okay? Even though these pads, sure, you know what? Sure, this has a bunch of life left in it and whatnot, but I need to make these things not squeak. I need to have, you know, have it work correctly and bed in correctly. And so you just gotta switch them. Get the car to a known starting point. Who knows what happened before you owned it? This bolt is all bent over down here, so there's no way I'm gonna be able to get the bushing off. So I guess it's time to cut. Oh. Come on. Look at the beautiful forged steel lower control arm right here with this beautiful attention to detail. Obviously the byproduct of so much testing. Absolute beautiful forging. So on the original assembly, you have this bolt, right? And the threaded end of the bolt was down and it was totally bent, right? And it definitely wasn't intended to be. So something must have caused it to bend. And I'm curious whether I perhaps should install it the other way around so that you don't have this extra threaded part hanging down, which can be hit on, you know, whatever in the road debris, because that's basically the lowest point in the assembly in the suspension would be the threaded end of this bolt. Okay. Putting a jack under here to be a little helper. Not helping enough. Problems. This is actually a lot more fiddly than I thought it would be. You have to kind of jack up under the ball joint plus jacking up under the bolt to compress it a little bit. Then you can get, I mean, I'm sure there's some way to clamp it, but you can get it just started, okay? That'll give you just enough to get the nut started. Starting to realize that maybe part of the problem before, I don't think this has ever been done before on this car, right? Like I truly believe that the previous parts were the original parts. The car only has 100,000 miles on it, right? You know, so this bolt is much shorter than the previous one. Huh. Interesting. There's gonna be way less left over. Did somebody over tighten this on the previous installation? I think that's what happened, which is what caused the degradation, is that somebody tightened this down so much, or somehow the wrong bolt length was in there? Because this is a much better fitting assembly than what was there before. It's weird. Probably going to result in improved handling over this. I know you guys think I'm all about the baller shit, but look at these knee pros. beautiful ratchets I have. I've got these in 3/8, quarter, half. Love these. Very beautiful back drag. In the Milwaukee garage, I use mostly Japanese tools. In the Sycamore garage, I use mostly German tools. I'm sorry, I mean, is this technically probably a workable rotor? But, I mean, yeah, for me, I don't really want that on the car. See, the thing I'm realizing about classic cars is the only way that you can do it is if you don't value your own time, right? Like, there's no, really for all but a very, very, very small minority of vehicles, and it's getting smaller and smaller all the time, there's no financial proposition in paying people to do this work, right? Like, it'll never work out. And even if you value your own time at zero, a lot of times it still doesn't work out. So, you know, it truly is something you have to have passion for to just like enjoy it. Like, okay, right now, 8 o'clock at night, I could be sitting watching Netflix, right? But for me, this is like my Netflix, you know? It's like, this is my relaxation, my enjoyment. I drink a beer. I just went over and I bought some beer from this great independent brewer, Supermoon. You know, so much craft beer it's just all the same these days, but Supermoon really does make a distinctive, interesting product. You know, and I come out here, that's why it was so important for me to get this toolbox, to kind of get my whole setup right. And I still have just such a, you know, weak selection of tools compared to what I truly need, compared to what I have in my other garage, but it's starting to get there. Like this for me, what else do I want to do? I mean, I could be working. But the other thing about my career in engineering and product design that I've realized is that I was actually on a conference call today talking with some other guys about this, how earlier in my career I thought, oh, let's just sit down at SolidWorks and power through and just like, bam, get a product out. And you know, I made a lot of mistakes that way. And what I've realized now is that if you work at a product, conceptualize it, step away, mentally step away for a while, weeks, a month, come back to it, bring that fresh reality of who you are to the product design. You see things that you didn't see before. And I really don't think that, like, hard work matters, but doing the right work matters more. And I think I can actually be very, very effective in my career, making far, far better, far more successful products for the business, while at the same time actually working fewer hours. Well, there you go. The simple, what I thought would be like 2 to 3 hour job turns out to be a 7-hour job. So what else is new? But we got some beautiful, fresh iron in there. We got some, you know, good, fresh bushings. So tomorrow morning, I'll drive it and give you some impression. Okay, it is the next morning. We're gonna see if we can feel any difference as we did those suspension bushings. For some reason, my hairstylist, who is this woman from Latvia, scheduled me for 8:30 in the morning. Okay, we're gonna go around kind of a curve here. Oh yeah. Yeah, that has really tightened things up with those replacement bushings. It was a good move. Very good move. For the whole week, Milwaukee has just been blanketed in this fog, and it's beautiful. I wish it was always foggy like this. But alas, we won't. We won't always get this fog. We'll go up over the bridge. The body roll is much, much, much more manageable now. We're going up over the bridge. The lake is obviously to my right. Look, you have almost no visibility. I should probably turn on my headlights. beautiful tactile feel of that switch. You'll never make cars like that again. Look, you can't see. You have maybe 200 feet of visibility right now. What a lovely car. What a lovely life. So fortunate to get to drive such beautiful cars and to have such a beautiful life. Fuel light just came on. I've never noticed that fuel light before. I've never had it that low. Of course it works on this car. This is the kind of car I want to buy more of. Unfortunately, there aren't that many kind of... a car that's been sitting around for 20 years in a garage, like, everything rubber will need to be replaced. It's a pain in the ass, it's a lot of work, but a lot of other stuff will still work, you know, provided mice haven't eaten it. And, you know, I think it's a good situation to be in with a classic car. All right, let's do some hard braking. Put these new brakes on. Whoa, that was in the blind spot. Wow. Yeah, nice. Okay. Yep, the brakes are perfect, no squeaks. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. I have ordered one of these radios off eBay, which I hope the cassette player works on, and at least will give me the bare minimum, the knob to put right here. So that is also coming from Latvia. For some reason, a lot of cars from a lot of BMW stuff from Latvia. I found an original set of E12 floor mats that are... What year? This is a 1980. Thanks. Somebody who likes BMW right there. You know, this car, like when you drive a classic car around, a lot of times people stop you and ask you questions or say something. What year is it? Blah, blah, blah. This BMW doesn't get quite as much attention as I would say my Saabs or the Mercedes turbo diesel, but it is a very distinctive car. It's an unusual, you know, the front end is so unusual with the shark nose, and it really takes, it's kind of a connoisseur's car, I would say. You know, and on the face of it, because I think it's not as weird as a Saab. It doesn't look as dated as a W123 Mercedes. Okay. She shortened my hair a bit, which is okay. My hair just gets destroyed by working on cars, you know. You're underneath the car getting fluids dripped on your hair all the time. I mean, a stylist can't expect that your hair is going to be in some sort of pristine condition when you're me. She's always like, oh my God, what are you doing to your hair? Unfortunately, I don't have a local source close to my home in Bayview for ethanol-free gas, so I do put some ethanol gasoline in this thing, which I'm remiss to do, but look at this beautiful little place that you have to stick this. For me, when I look through the wheels, I don't want to see a bunch of like corrosion and rust on the rotors in there. That just... I like to see a fresh rotor on a car. This car has taken 14 gallons of fuel, which is basically exactly what a Saab 900 will take if you fill it at the low fuel level warning. You know what? I need to get some real windshield wipers. Obviously, I don't go out of my way to try and drive this car in the rain, and that would be a shame to, but these are just decomposing. Man, these have been on here for 20 years. Okay, and last but not least for this video, I'm going to do something which has been on my mind for a long time. Little thing, not a big deal, but somebody had a coolant leak here and put in this wacky, you know, short tube with a clamp with a 90 plastic thing with another tube instead of the correct actual BMW part, which I've acquired from Walleth and Nesh. So I'm just going to quickly suck some coolant out and stick this on, just because it just drives me mad to see stuff that's not correct. So this is the little $17 siphon pump that you get from Flow Tool at Napa, and works really well. We're just gonna suck her out. Ooh, she's still a little hot. Hopefully I don't melt the seals. Now let's fish it down into here. I don't need to take all that much out, but I need to take out some. Let's get a different tube. I don't know why it is, but there's something about this versus this that I can't bear. I can't have this on the car. Now we can just refill it and we will be on our merry way. This car doesn't, like, it self-bleeds. It's not a complex car to bleed, that's for sure. It's because it's well designed with the reservoir at the top of the highest point in the engine. So this has been one of the most nonsensical and meandering videos that I've made to date, but basically I'm going to finish up by saying this car, with what I've just done here, gets me to a good place where I feel good about it. That weird coolant hose is gone, we've got some decent brakes, some decent rubber on the anti-roll bars, you know, it doesn't leak fuel, it runs, essentially everything works. I'm still crazy about the tachometer, but now it's time to actually deal with the things that really matter for the car and the really hard stuff. I need to make it not leak oil, and that is going to require everything here. Okay, all of the seals. We got a main seal, all the gaskets on the front of the engine, you know, oil pan gasket. We've got a valve cover gasket. You know, that's going to be taken apart, a lot of the front of the engine. That's going to be new belts, which are also needed. We're going to do a new water pump. Look at this beautiful water pump at the same time, obviously, when we're in there. And that's going to be a big undertaking. So I'm just going to enjoy the car a little bit. It doesn't really leak that bad, and but it's not exactly there. And until next time, to the awesome 25 to 200 of you that actually watch these videos, thank you and peace out.
No.